Not impatiently. Not anxiously. Simply waiting with unwavering confidence that the appointed moment will arrive. The messenger looks toward the gate, then back toward you. The final obstacle has never been another person's plans. Another thoughtful silence follows. It has always been whether you would believe your own story was still unfolding. As those words settle into the stillness, the gate emits a single, deep tone that echoes across the entire valley. The sealed message glows brighter than ever before. The ancient lock upon the gate begins to shift. One small movement. Then another. The opening has begun. But before the gate reveals what lies beyond it, the messenger gently raises a hand. Not yet, the messenger whispers. The next revelation changes everything you thought you understood. The valley falls silent once more. The gate remains only slightly open. And whatever waits beyond it is still hidden, waiting for the next chapter of this fictional journey. The ancient gate remains only slightly open, and the quiet tone that echoed across the valley still lingers like the final note of a beautiful song. The messenger does not rush forward. Instead, there is a sacred pause, as though even this fictional realm understands that the most meaningful revelations are never hurried. You have spent so much time wondering who was standing in your way, the messenger says gently. But there is another question that matters even more. What kind of person have you become while walking this road? The words settle into your heart with unexpected warmth. For a long moment, nothing else is said. Then the valley begins to change. The fields of light ripple like calm water, and countless tiny reflections appear across the ground. As you look closer, you realize each reflection shows a different version of your own journey, not the life you lived, but the lives you imagined you should have lived. One reflection shows a path where every opportunity arrived easily. Another reveals a version of yourself who was praised by everyone from the very beginning. A third shows a life with no delays, no disappointments, and no seasons of uncertainty. At first, those reflections seem beautiful. Almost perfect. But the messenger quietly shakes their head. Look again. You watch more carefully. The first traveler, who never faced difficulty, never learned resilience. The second, who received constant praise, became dependent upon applause. The third, who avoided every challenge, never discovered the depth of courage hidden inside. Slowly, every reflection fades. Only your true path remains. It may not have been the easiest. It may not have been the quickest. But it carries something the others never found. Character. The messenger smiles with quiet joy. Strength that is formed with patience cannot be taken away by another person's opinion. A peaceful breeze moves through the valley. With it comes another vision. The person who once seemed determined to move ahead of you now stands alone at their own crossroads. Their expression is no longer filled with confidence but with reflection. They begin to understand that chasing recognition without gratitude leaves the heart empty. No accusation is spoken. No judgment is declared. Only understanding. The messenger watches with compassion. Every soul in this story is invited to grow. Sometimes growth begins the moment we stop measuring ourselves against someone else. The vision dissolves like morning mist. You feel lighter than before. Not because every question has been answered, but because the burden of comparison has quietly slipped away. Then something unexpected happens. The sealed message in the messenger's hands begins to unfold on its own. The glowing parchment opens slowly, revealing another single sentence. It reads, "The place prepared for you has never required another person to lose in order for you to arrive." You read those words again. And again. Each time they seem deeper than before. How many fears were built upon the belief that life was a race? How many sleepless nights came from thinking there was only enough room for one dream to survive? The messenger closes the parchment with great care. Abundance often hides behind the walls built by fear. You lift your eyes toward the ancient gate once more. It has opened a little farther. Warm light spills through the widening entrance, carrying the scent of fresh rain and blooming trees. Beyond the threshold, outlines begin to emerge. Not clearly. Just enough to awaken curiosity. You notice a winding road disappearing into brilliant light. You notice peaceful gardens untouched by storms. You notice distant figures waiting with joyful expectation. Who are they? Why have they been waiting? The messenger does not answer. Instead, another question is offered. If tomorrow brought everything you have hoped for, would your heart be ready to receive it with humility? The question echoes through the valley. You realize preparation has never been only about waiting for blessings. It has also been about becoming the kind of person who can carry those blessings with wisdom. The messenger nods, as though hearing thoughts you never spoke aloud. Many people pray for open doors, the messenger says. Few remember to prepare for what lies beyond them. Silence returns. Yet this silence feels different. It is no longer filled with uncertainty. It is filled with expectation. High above, the stars begin arranging themselves into unfamiliar patterns. One by one, they connect like pieces of an ancient map. The messenger follows the glowing pattern across the heavens. It has always been there, the messenger whispers. You simply could not recognize it until now. The pattern points directly toward the ancient gate. Then, beyond it. Farther than your eyes can comfortably follow. As though this gate is not the destination at all. Only the beginning. Your heart beats faster. Not from fear. From wonder. The messenger takes one careful step toward the entrance. The gate responds immediately, opening another few inches with a deep, gentle sound that rolls across the valley like distant thunder softened by peace. Light pours outward, brighter than before. Within that light, faint voices can almost be heard. Not speaking words. Simply singing with quiet joy. Then, the messenger suddenly stops. Their peaceful expression changes. Not with alarm. With profound attention. Something beyond the gate has begun moving. A figure approaches from the radiant distance. Its outline is impossible to fully distinguish, yet its presence carries extraordinary peace. In one hand, the figure holds what appears to be another scroll older than the first, bound with a seal unlike any you have seen before. The messenger bows respectfully. There is another part of your story, the messenger says softly. one that has remained hidden until this very moment. The mysterious figure continues drawing closer. The ancient scroll begins to glow. The seal slowly starts to crack. You lean forward, sensing that the words inside may finally explain why every delay, every unexpected turn, and every season of waiting has led here. Just as the seal breaks, the brilliant light surrounds everything once again. And before a single word from the ancient scroll can be read, the vision gently fades, leaving only one unmistakable feeling. The greatest revelation of this fictional journey is still waiting just beyond the next chapter. The light slowly recedes, not because it has diminished, but because your eyes have become ready to see through it. The valley returns, yet nothing appears exactly as it did before. Every tree seems brighter. Every stream reflects a deeper sky. Even the silence feels alive, as though the entire landscape is quietly waiting for the next page of this story to unfold. The messenger remains still, watching the ancient scroll whose broken seal now glows with a gentle radiance. There are truths, the messenger says softly, that cannot be understood by hearing them alone. They must be experienced within the heart. A warm breeze carries the scent of rain over distant fields. You notice something unusual. The gate that once stood almost beyond sight is no longer far away. Without realizing it, every step of your journey has brought you closer. You never rushed toward it. You never forced it open. Yet somehow, the distance between you and your next chapter has quietly disappeared. The messenger smiles. Progress often happens before we recognize it. Those words awaken memories you had nearly forgotten. The days when you believed nothing was changing. The evenings when you wondered whether your quiet efforts mattered. The mornings when hope felt smaller than yesterday. Yet here you stand. Still moving. Still believing. Still becoming. The messenger gently unrolls the ancient scroll. Golden letters shimmer across its surface, but they refuse to reveal themselves all at once. Instead, one sentence slowly appears. Every hidden season was preparing visible fruit. You read the words again. They seem simple. Yet the more you reflect upon them, the more they begin to reshape everything you believed about your journey. Perhaps the quiet seasons were never empty. Perhaps the waiting was never wasted. Perhaps every unseen moment strengthened roots that could support blessings still growing beyond the horizon. The messenger continues. In this story, many believe that being noticed first meant arriving first. A thoughtful pause follows. But wisdom rarely measures life that way. The valley changes again. Before you appears a magnificent orchard. Some trees are covered with fruit. Others remain completely bare. At first glance, it seems obvious which trees have succeeded. Then the messenger invites you closer. You notice that the trees still waiting are growing roots far deeper beneath the earth than the branches above reveal. The strongest harvest, the messenger whispers, often belongs to those who appeared to grow the slowest. The image fades, leaving behind a profound peace. Then another vision begins. You see the person who once seemed determined to move ahead of you. This time they are not looking at you. They are looking inward. For the first time, they understand that chasing recognition cannot heal insecurity. Comparison cannot create joy. Competition cannot replace gratitude. No harsh words are spoken. No dramatic confrontation takes place. Only quiet realization. The messenger nods gently. Sometimes the greatest transformation happens without anyone else noticing. As that vision dissolves, something remarkable occurs. The light surrounding the ancient gate grows warmer. The great doors begin opening another little farther, revealing a beautiful pathway lined with glowing lanterns. Each lantern burns steadily. None compete with another. Together they illuminate the road ahead. The messenger gestures toward them. Each light represents an act of kindness, courage, patience, or faithfulness that seemed insignificant when it was first given. You recognize some of them. A forgiving conversation. A generous decision. A day you chose hope despite disappointment. A quiet prayer whispered when no one else was listening. None were forgotten. Every small light became part of the road leading here. Your heart fills with wonder. Could ordinary moments truly shape extraordinary futures? The messenger answers before you ask. Great journeys are rarely built upon extraordinary moments alone. They are built upon ordinary choices repeated with extraordinary faithfulness. Those words echo through the valley. Suddenly, the ancient scroll trembles. Another line appears beneath the first. The one who feared your light never understood that light multiplies when it is shared. You pause. For so long, this story seemed to be about someone attempting to push you aside. Now it feels as though it has always been about something deeper. Not rivalry. Not recognition. Transformation. The messenger closes the scroll with great care. The true victory was never standing above another person. It was refusing to let disappointment change the kindness within your own heart. A peaceful silence follows. Far beyond the gate, music begins to drift across the valley. Not loud. Not dramatic. Gentle. Hopeful. It sounds like the beginning of a celebration still hidden beyond the hills. The messenger turns toward the distant melody. They have been preparing. The words are almost whispered. Not only for your arrival. A pause. But for the person you have become during the journey. Those words settle deeply within you. Perhaps the destination was never waiting for a perfect traveler. Perhaps it was always waiting for a transformed one. Just then, the mysterious figure beyond the gate steps into clearer view. Their face remains hidden by brilliant light, yet the peace surrounding them is unmistakable. In their hands rests a small wooden box adorned with intricate carvings of vines, stars, and flowing rivers. The messenger bows once again. The final part of the hidden story rests inside that box. Your curiosity grows stronger. Is it a gift? A memory? A promise? The figure slowly extends the box toward the messenger. The carved lid begins opening on its own. A single ray of golden light escapes through the narrow opening. Inside, something softly pulses, like a heartbeat waiting to be recognized. You lean closer. The messenger reaches toward the mysterious object with great reverence. Just as their fingertips are about to touch it, the light expands across the valley, wrapping the ancient gate, the lanterns, the scroll, and the distant hills in a brilliant glow. Nothing disappears. Everything simply becomes impossible to see clearly for one breathtaking moment. Then the messenger's calm voice rises above the light. What rests inside this box will finally reveal why every unexpected delay, every unanswered question, and every season that made you wonder whether you had been forgotten were all connected. The light grows brighter. The lid opens one final inch. And before its contents can be revealed, the vision gently pauses, leaving the greatest mystery of this fictional journey waiting just beyond the next chapter. The brilliant light softens until the valley can be seen once more. The ancient gate stands open wider than ever before, and the gentle melody drifting from beyond it seems to carry a promise that has waited through every chapter of this story. The messenger remains beside the small wooden box. Its carved surface glows with quiet warmth, and although the lid is only slightly open, the light within feels older than the stars above. There comes a moment, the messenger says, when a traveler realizes the greatest treasure was never found at the end of the road. It was quietly growing within them throughout the journey. The words echo through the peaceful valley. You remember every season when you questioned your direction. The moments when silence felt heavier than answers. The times you believed someone else's choices had permanently changed your future. Yet standing here now, those memories no longer feel like chains. They feel like stepping stones. The messenger slowly lifts the wooden box. Inside rests a single crystal unlike anything you have ever imagined. It is neither dazzling nor overwhelming. Instead, it shines with a calm light that changes with every heartbeat, reflecting not the sky above, but the heart of the one who looks upon it. What is it, you ask? The messenger smiles. It is called the mirror of becoming. You look more closely. At first, you expect to see your own reflection. Instead, the crystal reveals moments you had completely forgotten. The day you encouraged someone who never thanked you. The afternoon you chose patience instead of anger. The quiet evening when you decided not to give up, even though no one would have blamed you if you had. Every act that seemed invisible now shines brilliantly within the crystal. Nothing done with genuine love is ever truly unseen, the messenger says softly. The realization fills the valley with an even deeper peace. Then the crystal begins revealing something unexpected. It shows the person you believed was trying to push you aside. But they are not standing above you. They are sitting alone beneath a quiet tree, burdened by their own fears and comparisons. The messenger speaks with compassion. People sometimes build walls not because they hate another person's light, but because they have forgotten their own. The vision invites understanding rather than resentment. You begin to see that everyone carries unseen struggles. Some respond by lifting others. Some respond by competing with them. Some simply lose their way for a season. The crystal fades. The messenger gently closes the wooden box. The purpose of this story has never been to teach revenge. It has always been to reveal the strength of mercy, wisdom, and quiet confidence. A warm wind moves through the lantern-lined path beyond the gate. Every lantern burns brighter than before. Their light joins together until the entire road glows like a river of gold stretching toward the horizon. The messenger begins walking. You follow. With every step, the weight you carried seems lighter. Not because the past has disappeared, but because it no longer defines the future. Soon you arrive at a peaceful garden unlike any place you have seen before. Flowers bloom in every season at once. Streams reflect constellations that cannot be found in ordinary skies. Ancient trees stand tall, their branches sheltering travelers from every direction. At the center of the garden rests a circular stone table. Upon it lies another parchment. Unlike the previous scrolls, this one bears no seal. The messenger carefully opens it. Only a few words appear. They could delay your confidence. They could challenge your patience. They could influence your path for a little while. But they could never rewrite the story that courage continued to write. The parchment glows gently before its words disappear into the air like golden dust. You stand silently, letting the message settle within your heart. The messenger looks toward the horizon. Notice something. You turn. The person you once believed stood in your way is nowhere to be seen. Not because they vanished, but because your eyes are no longer fixed upon them. Your attention has shifted toward the path ahead. That is when you realize something profound. The story was never truly about another person's plans. It was about whether you would allow those plans to become the center of your own life. The messenger nods knowingly. When hope becomes your compass, fear loses its map. Far beyond the garden, another sunrise begins to appear. Its light is unlike any dawn you have ever witnessed. The colors seem to carry peace itself. The messenger smiles warmly. This sunrise marks the beginning of a chapter where you no longer walk seeking permission to shine. You simply walk. The valley fills with joyful music. The lanterns sway gently. The ancient gate remains open behind you, not as a reminder of what has ended, but as a symbol of every threshold crossed with courage. Yet even now, the story is not complete. In the distance, beyond the glowing hills, another traveler begins approaching. They carry neither a scroll nor a box. Only a simple lantern. Its flame burns steadily despite the wind. The messenger watches with quiet anticipation. This traveler carries the next lesson. You cannot yet see their face. You cannot yet hear their words. But you know, somehow, that their arrival will reveal the final connection between every delay, every unexpected turn, and every quiet act of faith that brought you here. The traveler lifts the lantern. Its light stretches across the valley, touching every place you have already walked. Then it reaches forward, illuminating a road you have never seen before. The messenger turns toward you one last time before the scene gently fades. The greatest revelation of this fictional journey is not about who tried to move you aside. A peaceful pause follows. It is about discovering that your truest path was never theirs to control. As the lantern's light continues into the unknown, the next chapter waits just beyond the horizon, where another piece of this fictional story is ready to be revealed. The lantern's gentle glow stretches farther than the eye can follow, illuminating a road that seemed invisible only moments before. It is not a road made of stone, nor one marked by signs. It appears to be woven from quiet choices, faithful steps, and moments of courage that once felt too small to matter. The messenger watches the approaching traveler with peaceful anticipation. The traveler says nothing. Instead, they lift the lantern a little higher. Immediately, the light begins revealing places along your journey that you had completely overlooked. You see moments that once appeared ordinary: a smile shared with a stranger, a kind word offered when your own heart felt weary, the decision to remain gentle after being misunderstood. Each memory becomes a glowing thread. One by one, those threads begin weaving together until they form a magnificent tapestry stretching across the valley. The messenger smiles. Every act of goodness leaves a mark, even when the one who offers it never sees where it leads. You stand in quiet wonder. What once seemed like scattered memories now reveal a beautiful pattern. Nothing had been random. Nothing had been meaningless. Even the chapters you wished had never happened now seem to hold an unexpected place within the larger design. The traveler slowly places the lantern upon a smooth stone beside the path. Its flame burns steadily without consuming oil or wick. The messenger gently explains. This light represents hope that has learned to endure. Not hope that depends upon perfect circumstances. Not hope that appears only when every answer has arrived. But hope that continues walking even while questions remain. A peaceful silence settles over the valley. Then the traveler extends an open hand. Resting upon the palm is a single seed. It looks remarkably ordinary. Small. Simple. Almost easy to overlook. Yet the messenger bows respectfully before it. You cannot hide your curiosity. Why honor something so small, you ask? The messenger's eyes shine with quiet joy. Because every great tree once looked exactly like this. The seed is gently placed into the earth beside the lantern. Almost immediately, something extraordinary begins to happen. Roots spread beneath the ground with astonishing speed, though they remain completely hidden from view. Only after the unseen work is complete does a tiny green shoot emerge into the light. The messenger looks toward you. Many people become discouraged because they judge their lives only by what can be seen. A thoughtful pause follows. But the deepest growth almost always begins where no applause can reach. The words awaken something within your heart. Perhaps your own unseen seasons were never signs of failure. Perhaps they were evidence that stronger roots were quietly forming all along. The breeze carries another gentle melody through the valley. This time, it sounds familiar. Not because you have heard it before, but because it feels like a song your heart somehow always knew. The traveler begins walking once again. You follow beside the messenger. Soon the path reaches the edge of a clear lake whose surface reflects not the sky above but possibilities yet to come. The messenger invites you to look into the water. At first, only ripples appear. Then images slowly emerge. You see yourself walking with confidence. Not because everyone agrees with you. Not because every obstacle has disappeared. But because peace has become stronger than uncertainty. You see yourself encouraging others rather than competing with them. You see yourself opening doors instead of fearing closed ones. You see yourself becoming the kind of person you once hoped to meet. The messenger quietly says, The future is shaped as much by the heart you cultivate as by the opportunities you receive. The vision fades. The lake becomes still once more. Then something unexpected happens. Far across the valley, you notice another figure. It is the same person who once seemed determined to move ahead of you. This time they are carrying no burden of comparison. Their shoulders appear lighter. Their expression softer. They stop along their own path and, from a distance, simply nod with quiet respect before continuing in another direction. There is no confrontation. No dramatic apology. Only the peaceful understanding that every traveler has their own road to walk. The messenger smiles. Sometimes healing does not arrive through perfect explanations. Sometimes it arrives when the heart no longer needs them. Those words settle deeply within you. For the first time since this story began, you realize that the shadow of being pushed aside has completely disappeared. Not because the past changed. Because you changed. The traveler retrieves the lantern once more. Its flame suddenly grows brighter, illuminating another path branching away from the valley. At the entrance to that road stands an archway covered in flowering vines. Carved into the stone are simple words. Walk forward without fear of being forgotten. The messenger gently traces the ancient carving with one hand. This is the invitation every traveler eventually receives. You step beneath the archway. The air feels warmer. The horizon seems closer. The weight of yesterday grows lighter with every step. Then, just as the journey appears ready to continue peacefully, the traveler suddenly stops. The lantern begins glowing with a brilliant golden light unlike anything seen before. The messenger's expression changes not with worry, but with profound anticipation. There is one final truth still hidden, the messenger whispers. The story has shown you what could never truly be taken away. A gentle pause follows. But the next chapter will reveal what has been quietly waiting to be entrusted to you all along. The lantern's light rises into the evening sky like a new star. The ancient valley grows silent once again. And somewhere beyond the next bend in the road, another page of this fictional journey patiently waits to be opened.